Everyone, it's Kathy, and welcome back into my craft room and on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to bring you a video today instead of Friday. I have not felt best in the world for the last few days, and it's been a struggle, but I do still love to craft, so I do like to spend some time here in my craft room when I am up to it. So today we're going to use this bundle called Sending Cheer. This is in the mini catalog for September through the end of December, and of course it is a Christmas theme set. And I want to show you what cute items you can make. I've made a couple of cards. My first one, I wasn't that pleased with it. I thought the colors were just off. I think if I'd have used a different background color on this, it would have been pretty. But it opens like that. But it also is a side easel card. So is that not the cutest thing ever? So when you send this to someone, not only can they admire it as a flat fold card, they can open it like a regular card. It is the bookbinder. I did it with the bookbinder theme, but then I did the little slant on it so that you could stand it up. Now this is in the landscape position, and you can see I used the Santa hat die cut. I used the little for the pom-pom, I used that little stamp right there. And I used that larger one to go across the brim of the hat. And the other one, I used some stickles. Now, you can find this on my online store. Just added them because these things are gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and put some on my Santa hat on this one. And on the next card that you're going to see I did it on the stocking. And I thought it turned out, I might be getting low, so I might have to get me some more. Oh, there it comes. Oh, and it came out in a gob. So I'm just going to move that around on there. Now I'll have to let this one sit somewhere and let it completely dry because you don't want to put your hands in this or get anything on it because it will move it until it's dry. But look what a difference the stickles make. So hopefully it'll show even better on the other card. So I'm going to lay this, I'm going to lay this a little ways away from me so that I can give that time to dry. So hopefully over there will be a good safe place. And then here's one I did, and I used that holographic paper. And I used designer series paper, but you can see I did the stickles on the top of the card, and it does dry and it doesn't flake off. So you're not going to get glitter everywhere. And I also made this one as an easel card. And it goes like that. Now, I didn't put anything up here because I embossed it before. I thought I should have stamped and then embossed, but I can go back and put a label here and put something white in my label and stamp, and it will be just beautiful. So that might be something I'll do a little bit later. But I wanted to show you this fun fold, and it folds flat, so it will fit into you got a little bit of dimension right here. Because of the, I made this to sit up a little bit to hold that up. So there are dimensions under this. But that's the only place you really need dimensionals. I did put dimensionals on here because I wanted that to sit up on that holographic paper. I think it's so pretty. It picks up the colors. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but we're going to do it. I'm going to do both cards and show you how easy it is to make. Really not a hard card at all. And we're going to use that set. So first thing I want to do, I have a piece of shaded spruce, and this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So this is a standard half sheet cardstock. I'm going to bring my scoreboard up, my Simply Scored scoring tool, and we're going to score in two places. We're going to score at 4 1/2 and 5 1/2. And then on that smaller section right here, what we want to do is we want to score from the bottom corner, because this is going to fold like this. This is going to be our bookbind place where we're going to put a piece of designer series paper. And we want to score from the bottom of that, the bottom left to the top right. So to do that, I'm going to lay it in my scoreboard, and I'm going to get that right on that black mark. If you notice, I got a black mark in the middle of my scoreboard. This was a trick I learned a long time ago, and it works very, very well. What I want to do is make sure that is lined up in that track, and this is lined up in that track, and all I'm going to do is score in that diagonal, and it's really easy to do once you line those up. Now we've got our fold that's going to fold like that and give us our little easel fold card once we get everything together, just like that. It's like a little tent, doesn't it? All right, so the other piece that I want to use, I'm going to use a piece of bread as well. So we're going to prep everything first and then put the cards together. This is a sheet of real red, and I'm going to need my trimmer. And this piece, we're going to trim it like we would, like I normally do any of my A2 size cards. So on the 11-inch side, I'm going to put it at 5.5. And I'm going to slice it in half. And I'm going to do this. You can do this on here as well. I find it easier to do on my scoreboard. So I'm going to pull my scoreboard back up. If you notice, I never got rid of my stylus because I knew I was going to need to use it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this in here. And we're going to do the same thing, only we're not going to do the bookbinding. So we're just going to score this at 4 1/4. This is 8.5-inch side, so 4 1/4 will be halfway. So I'm going to just score that just like that. And now all we need to do is score from here to here. So again, I'm going to turn this right here, and I'm going to slide this around. Slide it up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm lining this up right there on that tip, and I'm going to hold it very solid with my finger. And then I'm going to rotate that around until that tip is right on that black line. Now I've got my spot where I need to score. I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to score up to that tip and then pull my stylus back. And that's all the scoring we need to do on this piece. So now when we fold this in half and fold this up, we're going to have another beautiful easel card. Again, that looks like the tent. So that's our two pieces that need to be scored. That's all the scoring we have to do. And you can choose which style you like best, whether you like the regular fold type without the bookbinding. That's like I did this one. Or if you want the bookbinding like I did on this one. This is the bookbinding. And again, that still comes up and sits up like that. And you know, I think these colors are growing on me the more I look at them. I think I'm liking them. So I'm going to lay that back over there so it can continue to dry. And now we need to decide about our mats and our designer series paper. So let's work on this one first. And this one, I think what I want is I want a red mat and a piece of this. This comes from the Joy of Christmas. And this is so pretty. You got the gray, I believe this is Pebbled Path, which is a dark gray. And they have the musical notes on this side. But then on this side, you got this very festive holly berries and leaves and valve. And I think it's just gorgeous. So the first thing we want to do, before we go any further, we want to glue that bookbinder piece down. So to do that, I'm just going to put glue right on this 1-inch piece that I have showing. And I'm going to squeeze out some glue. Looks like that might be a little bit too much glue right down there at the bottom. So I'm going to take my finger and just kind of smear it up a little bit. And then, of course, I'm going to wipe my finger off because I don't want sticky fingers. Now, all I'm going to do is bring this over and press that down. I'm going to bring this piece back, and I'm going to grab my, what am I going to do with my bone folder? Y'all know I would lose my head if it was not attached. You do know that. I don't see my Teflon. Oh, no, that's not it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I'm famous for losing stuff right in front of me. And if you craft like I do, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my my bone folder, and I'm going to crease this down really good. And the reason I like to do that, see, a little bit of glue did ooze out, but that's okay. The reason I like to do that is I like to go ahead and get that piece established. So now we can move on with our other pieces. So I want to put a mat on the front of this. And if I measure out this area, this is going to be about 4.5. So I'm going to go 4.25 by 4. So 4.25 by 4 on my red piece. So I'm going to cut this to 4. Felt that move, so I knew there was a sliver off. So I just straightened it up and went back in. And we need this to be, let's see, this is 4, so we need this to be 4.25. All right, so now I have my mat that's going to fit perfectly on here. I don't want to score this mat. I want this mat, when this card comes up like that, I want that mat to come up with it. So this is going to adhere right here. So we know this is 4 by 4.25. So now we want a piece of this that's going to be 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 4. And now we have a mat for the front of this. Isn't that pretty? I think those colors just play so well together, and it's going to make a stunning Christmas card. So what we need to do now, I tell you what, let's go ahead and cut the pieces for this one as well. So for this one, I think I want to do maybe a dark gray. Or do I want that green? Maybe Bella. I think Bella's having a dream. Let me pull out that Joy of Christmas and find that green piece. I think the green would look so pretty on that. I can go ahead and put this piece back in. And let me look. Here is the green. So pretty. I think that will be beautiful on that, but I want something behind it. So I want something that's going to pop from behind, and I like the lighter color. But I'm wondering, what if we used a black? Let's try a black mat behind that. And I think I found a piece the perfect size. I love it. I have to, we'll need to cut this down just a little bit. I'm going to lay this out. I like that. I think I'm going to go with that. So the red and the black and the green. So I know I need this piece to be 4 by 5.25. That's my standard size mat for my A2 size cards. So 4 by 5.25. And now this is going to sit right here. And the reason I like to mat this is because I want something more that has more stability behind it for my designer series paper. Now for this piece, I only need it to be 3.25 by 5. So I'm going to cut this off. And don't worry about the measurements. Y'all know I always provide you with a project sheet or a PDF tutorial that gives you everything that you need. So we're going to cut that off at 3 3/4 by 5. And now this piece can go on here like that. And I think this is going to be a beautiful backdrop for our elements that we're going to do. So now that I've got all the card bases done and ready, I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock, and I'm also going to take a piece of real red. And what I want to do for the first one is I want to stamp the stocking, just the stocking. And I am going to use a stamp positioner for that because this is a very solid image, and I want to make sure that I get a good image. So that means I may have to stamp more than once. So I'm going to bring out my stamp wheel because I do love this. I think it works really good, especially with photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to put this right up in my top corner because it doesn't matter. I'm going to stamp it like this. And press that down so it does adhere. And then I'm going to pick up that stamp and yep. And I'm just going to flip it over, and that way I got this in front of me where I can ink it. So I'm going to grab my real red ink pad, and I'm just going to really tap this good. Like that, get it good and covered, and then do my flip motion and get that right in the slots where I want it. And give that a press. And I can see already that it looks redder on the toe than it does up here. So we're going to bring it up, bring it back over. I'm going to ink it up again. I'll turn it this time, maybe like this. And we're going to stamp that again. So once I know I've got it lined up, I can set it in, give it a good press. And I think that's perfect. So while I've got this turned, I'm going to go ahead and get some stamp cleaner. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my cloth. I'm going to go ahead and clean that stamp off while I've still got it right here. And of course you can see it is stained, but it is clean. So there's, anytime you're dealing with any of the dark pigmented inks, you're going to get some staining on your photopolymer stamps. It's the nature of the beast. So don't fret. A stained stamp isn't a ruined stamp. It's just a love stamp. And we do love our bright colors. So that explains why many of my stamps are discolored, because it means I've used them. All right, I've got that piece ready, and I need to do a couple of die cuts. So let's close up our ink pad. And I'm going to cut my stocking. So I'm going to get these lined up really, really even. Like that. And where's my little, these are my little Post-it flags that I like to use. I love these because when you put them on your desk, they suction, so you can pull them out without having any problems there. So I'll put 2 on that. And then I need my big, I need this one. We'll need that for another card, and I need the smaller one. So I'm going to put both of those down. And for those, I'm just going to adhere them with one. Actually, I probably can do them both with that one. All right, those are ready to cut, but I also want to cut my Santa hat out of the red and my little pom-pom. out of the white. So this is going to go down on here. I'm wondering, well, I'll tell you what, we'll just adhere him right here. So now what I want to do is I'm going to bring my die cut plates over, and I am going to put this down like here, and maybe this piece I'm going to cut off. The reason I'm doing this is I like to be able to push everything through that I need to die cut at one time. So I can easily cut that off and put that on there. Nothing's going to move, and it's all going to cut out beautifully. Let's move those big scissors back where they belong. Let's run this through our die cut machine. All right, we got everything cut. So there's my little Santa hat. And like I said, all of these pieces are meant to be, they are all meant to be tags, so they all have holes in them. But I can show you how to remedy that so we don't see the hole. At least for the Santa hat, I believe Santa hat and they all of the tags do. All of the tags have. So as you can see, that one did not pop out. I just throw him down a couple of times, and usually he pops on out. There it goes. So this is for our Santa hat. So I'm going to lay this over. See how cute that's going to be? Beautiful little Santa hat. So we're going to lay that right there. And I got my stocking cut. Stamped and cut. How beautiful. But we're going to make a little extra something on our stocking as well, because I love this piece. There's the little pom-pom for our Santa hat. So I'm just going to lay that up there with my hat. And this is going to go across our stocking like that. I like that better than that. Now, if you wanted to do names on stockings, you could still do that, by using, you could write them on there. You could actually print them out on some cardstock and stick them on. So many different ways. Or if you have some small alphabet stamps, you could stamp their name. And that's very tedious. I've done it before, but it's extremely tedious to do. All right, I'm going to pull all of my dies so I can put them back where they belong, because you know what happens when you lose a die. It can definitely make you cry. So I'm just going to slide everything back into this one just like that for now. And I can straighten them up later. That's not an issue. Now, the other thing I want to do with this piece of white cardstock before I go any further, and look, my plate is starting to bow upward. That's exactly when you want to turn it over and make it flat again. And this one you turn every time you use it. So that keeps your plates nice and flat, and it keeps them from warping. That is a technique that I have learned through trial and error of trying to keep my stamps from doing that. All right, I've got my holly berries and my holly leaves already on stamp blocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my real red, and I want holly berries. Those look pretty. I want to do two just in case. Why not? And then we're going to close up that real red, and we're going to grab our shaded spruce. I don't know what it is about shaded spruce, but this is my go-to green for Christmas. Even when we had evening evergreen, I still went for this. That was a beautiful dark green ink, but this is my favorite for making Christmas cards. I think it pairs so well with the reds, the cherry cobbler or the real red. And I'm going to go ahead and do two of those just in case I decide to use it. And let's go ahead and close that ink up. And I am going to pull out my Stampin' Scrub. so that I can clean my stamp slide. And you might say, what is a Stampin' Scrub? Well, it's my stamp cleaner, and it has Velcro pads that come out for easy cleaning. And all you have to do to activate it is plain water. I put a squirt of water. I keep a water, it's actually a hairstylist water bottle, and I like the way they work. And I keep one right beside my desk so that I can wet this whenever I need it. You have a wash side and a dry side. The wash side has little raindrops, and the dry side has the sunshine, so you know which is what all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and clean both of those stamps. And that is done. Now we need to grab the dies out for those. And they are so cute. Absolutely stunning. Oh, I need the toes out of this too for my stocking. I want to do it in white. And let's see, here's my holly berries. And here's my holly leaves. So I'm just going to set everything else back in here like that. And what I'm gonna do, and I know this sounds like a little bit of an overkill, but for me, I don't like to run my paper through my die cut machine any more than I have to. So I'm gonna take my paper snips and I'm gonna cut out just a little square with my holly on it, my holly berries. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the leaves. I'm just gonna come in and cut this off. And then cut this one off. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut out my little berries. This just makes it easier when I die cut. I can cut two and then go right back in and cut the other two. They didn't give me multiple die cuts for this. Sometimes you'll get, 3 or 4 of one thing, but that wasn't the case with these. So all I'm going to do is fit this over top of my holly berries. Let's see if there's a certain way they go. That looks about right. So once I get those about where I think they're right, I'm going to use one of those little Post-it flags and just put it over top. I'm going to have my plate right here ready. And I'm going to lay this on my plate. And then I'm going to grab the holly leaves. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get them on here just where they need to be. And put that one on there. And I'm ready now to put my cover plate on and run this through. All right, so we've got these cut. So we need the dies again. So I'm going to pull this up and let's pop those out. Perfect. And then I can take this piece and put it on this one. That's better if I put it on without the tape. So I'm going to try getting that on there like that. And then tape it down. Lay it back up here. Let's take this one off. There's my holly leaves. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Actually bring it over and then lay it down. And the one other thing I need is I need the toes for my stockings to be in white. So I'm going to take the full scrap, and it's plenty big to get that on. And I'm just going to put a piece of tape over it and lay that down. And then we'll have all of our die cuts done. So now we have your holly berries. They're tiny little pieces, so they They can be a little tedious, but it's so worth it because um, everything is in detail. So the details that we put on our cards make all the difference in the world. So there's my little pieces for my stocking. And put these back in here. And then that one off. And there's our other holly. And of course, we can call that scraps now. I don't think we can do too much more with that piece. So I'm going to put my die cut plates back over. And I'm going to pop this one back in here. And now I think we're ready to assemble. So the first one, I want to do the Santa hat. We're going to go with this one first. And I am thinking, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this piece to this piece first. And I'm just going to use some of my glue that's in my glue press. And we'll glue this down on the black mat. And it's like that. And now this piece is ready to go onto our card. But I want to jazz it up just a little bit. I want something for my Santa hat, and I don't want to use white or red. I want to use something a little bit different to put this on. So let's go ahead and put our hat together first. So the first thing I want to do, please excuse my voice. It's very crackly today for some reason. I got a sip of drink. Hopefully that will help a little bit. I'm just putting a little tab of glue right there on the tip. And then I'm just going to take my little pom-pom and lay it right into that glue. So that's how easy that was to do. And the same thing with the little brim. I like to put glue on the hat itself because this piece is going to hang over. That ensures that I'm not going to get glue where I don't want it. So I'm going to put that down just like that. And look at what a cute Santa hat we got. Is that not adorable? You're probably wondering, well, what about this up here? This is where we're going to use our die cut pieces. And I'm going to use this holly berries and holly leaves to camouflage that little hole. So to do that, I am going to adhere my holly berries right to that corner peak. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And put my berries right into it, like that. And now we can bring this over and stick that down right there on Santa's hat. Not only does it make his hat look festive, it covers up our tag hole. And you could do it either way. You could do it this way. You could do it up that way. However you want to cover up. I think I like it like that. So I'm going to put some glue right in here. And then I'm going to stick this like that. And there's my decorative little Santa hat. Now I'm thinking I want something black just for a little bit of a decorative edge or something there. So I think for that I'm going to grab a punch. This is one of our new punches that I have not used very much, and it's called a decorative circle, and it has that large little scallop look around it. So let's try that. Let's see how it looks. So easy to use a punch. They're quick, easy, and always make a statement on our card. So what if we put Santa's hat on that, about like that? Then we've got plenty of room down here to put a nice sentiment, and I think I like that. So what I want to do is, if you notice the stamp set has all of these look like tag greetings. For you, to and from, open me, no peeking, X and O, ho, sending cheer. All of these seem like, to me, they're little ditties that we would want to put on our tags. And that is great because this is a great tag making set. What I want to do next is I think, well, you know what? That side's going to go up. I'll tell you what, let's put it on here. Oh, and I had, oh, this piece goes over there. Okay. I got confused there for a minute. This is going to go on here like this. And remember, it's going to pop up. So we can actually put that anywhere we want to because it's going to pop like that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put glue, but I'm only going to put glue in this area here. And I don't want to go too close to the edges because I don't want it to ooze out. So I'm going to come just about like that and like that. And then I'm going to do some squiggles of glue. Got a little bit of a stick right there. So there we go. If your glue gun gets where it's not working, just take your cap. It has a needle in it, and put that on. Just screw it on, just like that, and then unscrew it, and that will undo your if you have a plug in it where it's not flowing, that will take care of it. So it happens sometimes, especially if you leave it sit for, if you're not crafting, say for a couple of days, I would say put the top on your glue. For me, I'm usually in here designing or coming up with something, even if I'm not recording, I'm in here playing. And and lately, like I said, it's not so much that I can't craft. I can on the days that I feel like it. I just don't always feel like going live. And I may have to cut back on my lives a little bit for the next, the next little bit. But if I do, just bear with me. I will try my best to always have something up for you. So I'm going to put maybe about 4 dimensionals on this black piece. I think I want him right there. And then I think I want the hat to kind of hang off like that. So we're only going to need dimensionals right here. So I'm going to put my dimensionals right across where my white piece comes together with my Santa hat. And then that's going to sit like that. And then we got a place down here to do a Merry Christmas. We got some options with our Merry Christmas. We could stamp it in black on red, or we could do a white embossing. And I think I want to do a white embossing. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. And I want that to be in that top upper corner, something like that. And then this, I'm going to take the backers off, and we're going to put glue on the top to hold it to the top part of this. So that's going to go about like that. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit of glue up in this region, just like that. And then I'm going to adhere him like that. Now for my Merry Christmas, I've been doing a lot with the little Merry Christmas that came in my paper pumpkin this time. But I'm going to look and find something a little bit different. What about Holly Jolly? I think this Marion Bright has a very pretty Holly Jolly stamp. So let's see if we stamp that. Do I want to do it in black or do I want to do it in white? I'm thinking I want to do it in white. So I'm going to go in and grab my white embossing powder and my Versamark ink pad. And before I do anything to this, I am going to prep my piece of paper because anytime that you're doing heat embossing with the embossing powders, they seem to stick to anything that there's static in. And I know it's starting to get colder, and that even makes it worse. So I like to take my piece and I like to tap it like that and get plenty of that powder. And you can get this in the essential heat embossing kit, and I'll have it listed as well as the tools that I used. It comes with the powder tool. It comes with a tray for your embossing powder. It comes with a brush and reverse tweezer. So it's really a great thing to have. All right, so I got that done. So I want to put Holly Jolly on there. So I'm going to take my Holly Jolly. I think I'm going to pick it up right here on my block. And then I'm going to go in and ink that really good. Now this is a clear ink, so you may not be able to see the Holly Jolly, but you may. I'm hoping I get a nice, crisp image. So I'm putting some pressure against it. Oh, and you can see it. That's good. That's really, really good because now I know that my embossing powder is going to stick to it really well and hopefully nowhere except where I need it. So I am going to go into my white, and yes, I have a lot of embossing powder because I do a lot of, I'm sure the regular crafter wouldn't need this much, but when you do a YouTube channel, you really do use a lot of product. And there is my Holly Jolly. So all we have to do now is heat set that. So I'm going to close that up and get it out of my way and grab my heat tool. And this is my heat tool. Isn't it? It is so nice. So what I like to do is I like to turn it on 2 and let it heat up for a few minutes before I put it to the paper. I am going to grab those reverse tweezers that comes in that kit, and they're very nice. They're ceramic on the end and a really nice heavy metal on this end, and that will help me be able to hold this and not burn my hand. So that's all part of that essential embossing kit. So here we go. I think we're ready to bring it to the paper. And it's all melted and it looks beautiful and shiny, just like we needed it to. So the question is now, do we want to cut this out or do we want to leave it? Oh, and I also, as a disclaimer, I laid this flat on my surface and heat embossed. If you have a vinyl mat or a wood table with maybe vinyl over it or anything, do not put it directly on your table. Make sure you've got a heat resistant area. My mat is made of glass, so I can do that with no problem. That's another reason why I love this glass mat. And if anybody's interested in this mat, I do have a link for it in my CRAFTROOM favorites. All right, so I am going to see what die that I want to use. And you know, I go back to those stylish shape dies over and over and over because they always give me a size that I need. So let's see if this will fit in here. And it does, and it fits beautifully. So guess what? We're going to cut that and make it a banner. Just like that. I'm going to grab one of these and just very gently put it there. And I'm going to bring my plates back over. We're going to run, I dropped it and it fell apart. So we're going to just put it on here again and get it even. Something like that. I think that will be okay. That looks good. All right, so I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. The thing you want to remember too, when you are die cutting something that you just heat emboss, make sure it's dry before you, or cool before you run it through. If not, you can take a chance of messing up your embossing. So just another little um, tip for you, tip of the trade, I guess you could say. So that is all done. So now we can bring this back over and we can put this holly jolly right there. And how cute is that card? So I'm gonna do the same thing I did. I'm gonna pop this up on some dimensionals because I really want everything to pop on this card. It's too cute not to pop up. And it is pop-up card. So it makes it so nice when you have some lift, especially on a card that you're going to display like this one. So now I'm going to make sure that I get this even, pretty much side to side, top to bottom, and put it down like that. Now what we need to do is decorate our inside. So for my inside, I want a piece of white long cardstock. Let's see if I can find a scrap that will work. Oh yeah. So we can cut 4 by 5 1/4 out of this. So I'm going to put this in at 4 and slice. And I keep strips like this because these are wonderful for sentiment strips. 4 by 5 1/4, and that looks like it's going to be right on the money, just a little sliver off of the end of that. So now we are ready to stamp or do whatever we want to do for the inside of this one. Now we know that we're going to make something that's going to go right about here. I would love to find a stamp that just has the word joy. Joy of no L. That doesn't have joy. I think this would be cute. The jolly words, and we're going to use inside just this joy. Or we could use 'tis the season. That would be really cute in here. And it would take up the whole top of the card. I think I'm going to go with that one. I was thinking joy, but 'tis the season. Since we have our little Santa hat and everything, I think that'd be really cute. And I'm going to do that in black. I think the black ink will really show up inside with this. So I'm going to put 'tis the season right about here. Let me get a stamp block that will accommodate that. And there we go. And I'm going to use a different ink. For my sentiments, I always like to use the VersaFine Onyx Black. It just gives me, and this is also, it's not a Stampin' Up product, but it is my one of my crafting favorites. So I have it listed. And if you're coloring with water-based markers, this is the ink you want to use. If you're coloring with alcohol markers, then you definitely want to use your Memento. But if you're just doing sentiment, see how rich and black that is? It looks so pretty. So I'm just going to hold that there and just let that ink absorb into the paper. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Now remember I said we cannot use water-based markers. And I want to color um, that little Christmas ball right there. So how would you do that? You can use your Stampin' Right markers, or you can use your colored pencils. This is my set of Stampin' Right markers, and they do come in a set like this. And all of your basic colors are in here. So this one is my real red. So I want real red, and I want something that looks like gold. I think that one. And then I want the shaded spruce, and I believe that's that one. It is. So these are the colors that I want to use on my little ornament. So I want the ornament itself to be red. And you have 2 tips on these. You have your little bullet tip, which is great for small areas like this. So I'm going to go in. I'm trying not to get those dots because I want to go back and make those dots yellow or gold. I picked a yellow. This is crushed curry. I wanted something that looked gold. Again, this is, detail. And it does take a little bit longer when you work on your detail, but it also adds so much to your card. So that one is done. I want to use my green for my little ripple. And then I'm going to come back in with this one. And I'm using the brush tip for this, and I'm just going to touch all of those little places. And I'm going to go ahead and make this that color since I have it out. And there is our ornament. How cute is that? So those I'll put back as soon as I finish my card. The other thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need a piece of black and a piece of white. And I'm going to use my double oval punch. And I want to get that bigger one out of this. So I don't want to cut the small piece. I just want the larger one. So I'm just putting it in to where it's covering the large scallop. And I'll punch that one out. Now I need a thin or a thin piece of cardstock. Something like that. And I went into my scrap bin for that. And I just want to go in and get that smaller oval. So now I have my two ovals, and these are going to act as my little stopper right here. They are going to act as my stopper. But I also have another little tidbit that I'm going to do. So for this one, I wonder, what about if we put Santa's heel? Will that work? That will work. Aha, I love it. I love it. I always love it when a plan comes together. Do y'all remember what show that was from? Back in the 80s, I think everybody watched that show. And I know the show. I see the characters, but I can't think of the name of it. That's so crazy. That's been something else I've been dealing with that's been a little disheartening, is my memory just doesn't seem like it wants to work like it did. Sometimes I have trouble getting a sentence out. So if y'all see me stumble, just give me a little bit of grace. And hopefully I'll be back to my insane, crazy self pretty soon. Okay, let's go ahead and pick that up. I love that Santa was here. And we're going to stamp it right about here. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Now, what if we come back in for a little festive touch and add our holly berries right here. So let's put a little bit of glue right on the bottom corner of our leaves. And let's take our holly berries and put them into the glue. And then what if we put the whole thing right here on the corner? I think that would be so cute. So just a little smidgen of glue right there. And we are going to set the holly berries just like that. A little bit of glue on there. That's okay. And we'll turn that over, and I want to pop this up. So again, I'm going to put a dimensional right over top of where those two met. That'll give me a little bit more glue there to hold everything down. And then I am going to pull off my backers. I'm going to use my reverse tweezers, and I'll show you how good these work. I am going to sit this down Just like that. Now we can glue this piece directly down to the bottom of our card. And this will act as our stopper for our easel card. So I'm going to do a test run before I actually sit it in. I love this. I think it's turning out so precious. So now all I have to do is put glue on the back side of my mat. And glue that down right here. I'm having trouble getting it straight for some reason. There we go. And how stupendous. I love this. I love the difference in using the black with it. I think it really makes everything pop. And I think it turned out stinking cute. So let's move on to the next one. And since we've got everything already done with this one, we should go together fairly quick. The first thing I want to do is put some glue on the back of this and adhere it to my red mat. Something like that. Oops, up too high. It's much better. Give that a good press. Now again, we know this is going to fit right in here, like that. So we only want glue in this little triangle area. So I'm going to go up like that and down like that and over like that and a little bit in the middle. And then we are going to set this piece into our glue and onto the front of this card. And now all we need is a piece of white to go on the inside. So again, I'm going back into my scrap bin. This will work. Yeah, we can cut that piece down. So the next thing I want to do is I want to work on my stocking. And to work on my stocking, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put glue right up here. And I'm going to take my little scalloped piece and I'm going to lay it into the glue to give me my little topper. Then these are the toe. The larger piece is for your toe and the smaller piece is for the heel. So I'm going to take this piece and just add a little tiny speck of glue on it. And I'm going to lay it right into the toe. Like that. And the heel is a little bit more difficult because it is smaller, but it goes in like that, the more rounded side to the bottom. And then we are going to lay this right down here, like so. And again, I feel like I need something that's going to make this pop. So I'm going to take a piece of that shaded spruce. I think I have this piece of it up here. No, maybe not. Okay, that's all right. We'll grab a piece from over here. I've got some scraps. It's a whole card base. Let's see if I got a scrap in here. What shaded spruce? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. And I'm going to take that same decorative circle. You could use a die or whatever. I'm doing a circle like this because it's quicker. And I really like that look. It just gives you something to anchor your stocking against, and it makes your stocking pop a little bit more. And it looks like almost like you've got a center cut out of that green. So I'm going to put glue on this one. I'm going to do it directly down. And then on this, I want to pop it up. So I'm going to use some regular size dimensionals. If you're wondering where I'm getting these small packs of dimensionals, these come in my paper pumpkins. And you always get more than you need. So not only does your paper pumpkin kit allow you to have a new and very useful stamp set and ink spot, you also get some extra blue dots and sometimes twine, sometimes little punch out elements. So your paper pumpkin is really a value for everything that you get. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to put this in here. And one thing, when it's sitting up, I want it to angle this way. Or do I? Yeah, I think I want it to go straight up and down. Just like that. All right, so now we've got that on there. We need to put a piece of designer series paper right here. And for that one, I am going to use, do I want to do that or do I want to do layered? I've got a little piece of this. It's different, but I don't know. I don't know. What if we just did a regular piece of red? Let's see what that would look like. So do I have a red piece? I'm sure I got scraps. There's a scrap that would almost be perfect. So for this one, I am going to, let's see, I think this is 1 inch. So we're going to do 3/4 of an inch. So I've got my trimmer. And I'm going to put this in at 3/4 of an inch. And that gave me a nice little piece. And I know this card is 4 inches, 4.5, 4.25, 4.25. So I want this to be 4 inches. So I'm going to lay it back into my trimmer. Move my little, these don't look easy. They have a little suction on them. And when you pull on this tab, it makes the suction let go. So they are so neat because they don't move. So there is our little piece that we need. And I think this is going to look really cute. It's going to give us that bookbinding look without taking so much of that pattern paper. So I think I like that. I'm going to go ahead and commit. So I'm going to put some glue on it. And I'm going to slide it over and up. Get it nice and even and then give it a press. I think I do like that. I think I like that a lot. So now we need to decide for our inside. So we need to bring this back over. And I know that my inside is, I think I know. I'm always thinking I know until I don't know. This is 4.5, so I need 4.25 by 4. 4.25 by 4. Looks like that's about perfect, and I didn't have to cut but one piece off of it. So let's look and see. Oh yeah, that worked out perfecto. I like it. I like it a lot. So the other thing we need to do is we need a sentiment or something to put on the front of this. It needs a little something. Just like with this one, I'm going to come back and do my stickles on here, and we're going to put some gems on it. Love the inside. I think the inside is perfect. So let's grab our stamp set. And I might use 'Tis the Season again. I love the way that looked on the inside. So let's go ahead and ink that back up with our VersaFine. We're going to stamp this up to the top corner. top left corner. UT full. And I used all of my holly on the other one, so I don't have anything too decorative to go across this one with. But we could do a bow on this one. I think a bow would be really cute. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. And on this one, I think I want to use that same double oval punch. And I want to do, I think I want to do green and red. So let's do this one green. And you see, I'm just using scraps that I was already using. So that always makes it good when you can find scraps that you can run back through. And here's a little scrap of red, and I'm going to slide it in like so. And there's that one. So that way we're staying with that red and green theme that we liked. And on here, we can stamp. What if we do Santa was here? I'm going to do the same ones. Do I want to do that in white or do I want to do it in black? I think I'm going to do it in black. We'll try it. If it doesn't look good, I'll grab another piece of red and or a piece of white, and we'll cut it in white. Santa was here. That's so cute. So cute. So what I want to do is pop that up. Pull these off. And again, I'm going to grab my little tweezers to help me set this down just like I want it. And then that's going to be our little stopper for inside. But we need to color those the little Christmas ornaments. So I'm going to grab my green. Same colors, green, yellow, and red. This time I'm going to make my ornament green. This can be a little bit time consuming, getting around those little places like that, but I think it really does make the card. We're going to do our red. And I might even do these red. And we're going to do the top of the Christmas ball right there. The yellow. And now all we need to do is put this down. Again, I'm going to use liquid glue. And I'm going to set that right here on the corner. And we are going to go ahead and glue this inside. And I'm going to use liquid glue for that as well. Then up like that. Now, remember I said I wanted to do a bow on there, so I want to grab some very festive ribbon. So what do I need to make it festive? You know, my all-time go-to is my red ribbon because I love it. And I think I'm going to go back to my red ribbon. I love this red. This comes in a combo pack, two packs of ribbon, and it is so pretty. So I'm going to do my same little thing where I do my little loop bow. Once I get it onto my fingers like that twice, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. These are my fabric scissors. I don't use them for anything else, but I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to thread this through my two fingers right there. Oops. Right through there. Pull it. Make sure this goes to the middle, and then loop this back underneath that ribbon. Just keep rocking, and once that is down tight, pull it off of your fingers, trim your tail. Make sure you pull both tails down, and then cut and cut. And there is your cute little bow. It will be so stinking cute right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down with a glue dot. So I'm going to peel back, and I'm going to stick this right into that glue dot, right on the roll. Pull it off, and stick that bow down, just like that. And now you've got a festive little bow on the front of your card. The only thing we have left to do, see how it sits. Oh, so cute. Look at that. So only thing we got left to do is our Merry Christmas. And for this one, I think I am going to use, oh, here it is. It was stuck to the side of us, another stamp set. I'm going to stamp this right here on the bottom, like that. I think that'll be pretty. And I'm going to do that also in, I think I'm going to do it in the green. So back to my shaded spruce and stamp block. Ink it up. Stamp it. Very pretty. I love that Merry Christmas font. It really does suit me. I'm one of those people that loves a pretty font, and when I find one, I will find myself using it over and over again. Now I'm going to try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try going across my Merry Christmas with my scissors. Just like that. I like that. And then this can go right about here. And I want some glue dots to pop this up on. And you know what? I'm out of my regular ones on here, so I'm going to cut a strip here. Actually, I do have one. Let's save him. I'll cut this one. Let's see how this will do. I like using my Stampin' Dimensional Bones is what most of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators call them. I'm not real happy with this. It doesn't look quite straight to me. So bear with me while I straighten it up. Just a hair. Much better. So now I'm going to put this down right about here. I need a piece about that big. So I'm going to grab my snips. I'm going to snip that right there. And take this little piece and just butt it right up against that. And then I'll take these backers off. And with this card, we'll be ready to go. All right. Back to my diamond stickles. I do want to put some diamond stickles up here. I know I have a bow here, but I want to tuck that under it just enough so it doesn't hit it. And I'm going to stickle the top of this hat, the top of the stocking. The toe. And the little heel. I think that just adds, if you could see that in person, you would see exactly what I'm talking about. The camera just does not do it justice. But now when you close this card or open it, there you go. How stinking cute is that? And when you open it up this way, you've got your greeting inside. It will fit in an A2 size envelope. And what a beautiful display of a Christmas card that someone can actually pop up and enjoy. All right, so we have this one, and I said I wanted to put some gems on this. So I'm gonna, before I do my, I wish last year we had some beautiful, oh, I know what I can do with this one. I got these little Joy of Christmas sequins. They're sequins and little pieces of holly leaves and music notes. Why not put some of those on here? And I only want maybe 3 going down right here. So I'm going to grab my, I have a take your pick tool, I promise. I do. It's just the question is, where is it at? Well, I may have to use something different, but I love my take your pick tool for putting these little ditties down. And I do not see it anywhere. Be sure to stay tuned for Tuesday's video. It's going to be a recorded video as well, but I'm going to teach a new technique, or at least something that's new to me, and I hope that it will be new to you as well, and you will find it very useful. I cannot find my take your pick. Okay, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, and that's with my fingers. So I'm going to grab one of those. I got it on my finger, so I'm going to try to hold it there. And I'm going to put a dot of glue right there. Oh, and I dropped it already. Okay, I'm going to try putting just a little sticky on my finger and see if I can pick it up like that. One of those, that worked. That worked. One more here. And we need one more. I got it. I should have put my dotted glue down before I picked it up. Oh, I had it. It's okay. We'll hold on to it this time. I guess there goes the mother of invention, necessity. So there are those dots on this one. That looks really, really cute. I love that. And then this one I don't think needs any dots. We've done everything that we need to do on this one. I do want to put some of the stickles. Let me cover these up before they get spilled on my desk, and that would be a major mess. I am going to stickle my Santa hat. Stickles are so easy to use. It's just like painting with the tip of and it's a type of glue. So it does get sticky, but it is so pretty. What if we do just a dot on our berries? So pretty. I love it. I love the way these cards turned out. So let's see if we can move everything off of my desk, or at least off of my work surface here. And let's bring out all of our cards. Here's the two we made today. And then here's the one, the prototype. I'm going to zoom out just a bit, about like that, and I'm going to bring in the other one. And there are all three of our cards. And I think they turned out beautiful. I mean, they're all different, but they're the same fold, the absolute same design, and all of them do pop up like that, like this, like this, oops, and like this. So not only are they beautiful cards, they are a side pop easel card. So I love the way they turned out. I hope you did. I'll have pictures on the blog, all the dimensions, all the products and everything that I use to make these. And if you've never used stickles or you need stickles, go over and check my online craft store. It is my Amazon craft store, and everything that's not Stampin' Up! That I use, you can find there. Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Till next time, bye.